I used to think holding a lot of cash was for losers. I thought that if I was really financially savvy, I would have my cash constantly working for me at all times, getting me the best returns. However, I have learned with time and experience that having enough liquid cash is actually one of the best things you can do, not only for your emotional, but financial health as well. Hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Teddy from Financial Tortoise, where we learn to grow our wealth slow and steady. In today's video, we're going to discuss why cash is king, and why I believe holding 6 to 12 months of cash in a liquid account is one of the best decisions you can make for yourself. The first reason why cash is king is that cash keeps you in the game no matter what happens. If any of you guys have ever gone bowling as a child, you might remember using what's called bumpers or guardrails. These bumpers would essentially keep your bowling ball from falling into the gutter. They kept you in the game even though you might have launched the ball improperly or your ball started spinning in the wrong direction. Think of cash like these bowling bumpers. Life will always throw you curveballs. And for me, majority of my most surprising curveballs are for some reason related to our car. It might have to do with the fact that both my wife and I drove pretty worn down vehicles for the first 10 years of our marriage. One time, my car wouldn't start and the mechanic told me it would cost me close to $4,000 to fix the problem, or I would need to purchase a new car. Now, if I was in a more precarious financial situation and didn't have cash in my bank account, $4,000 could have easily kicked me off the game. According to a Bankrate survey, only 39% of respondents said they will be able to cover an unexpected $1,000 expense from their savings. Most often, people would need to use credit cards to cover the shortfall, sending most Americans deeper into a financial hole. In our journey to debt pay down, investing, or financial independence, there will always be curveballs. But enough cash will ensure that we don't get derailed and help us stay on track towards our financial goals. Another reason I keep cash on hand is because it allows us to take advantage of opportunities when they arise. Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger's primary holding company for their investments, is known for always holding more than enough cash. In their 2014 Berkshire Hathaway annual report, they vowed never to keep less than $20 billion in cash. When the COVID-19 caused a market crash in 2020, Berkshire Hathaway decided to hold more. Actually, way more. $137 billion in cash. And their cash strategy has served them quite well when it comes to being able to take advantage of opportunities. During the financial crisis of 2008, Warren Buffett was able to pump $5 billion into Goldman Sachs shortly after the Lehman Brothers collapse. It served as a massive boost of confidence for Goldman Sachs in order to help stabilize an already shaky market. However, it also netted Buffett a healthy profit of approximately $3 billion, all because he had the cash to do so. We may not all have $140 billion like Berkshire Hathaway. However, having even 6 months of our monthly expenses in cash is more than what most people can come up with during times of great opportunities. Now, before I get to a few other additional reasons why I believe cash is king, let me talk briefly about where is the best place to hold it. The two principles that I want to highlight regarding the best place to hold cash are these: security and accessibility. You want your money secure and you want your money accessible. The fancy financial terminology for this is liquid. And I believe a simple savings account or a money market account more than serves our purpose. When I recommend a simple savings or a money market account, one of the main concerns I get from people is that it doesn't earn that much interest. I like to argue that interest rate actually shouldn't matter much when it comes to keeping enough cash, because the goal of this money isn't to grow, it is to give you other benefits. However, this doesn't stop many people from completely ignoring my advice. Let me talk about two most common areas where people keep their cash besides just a simple savings account, and why I personally don't recommend it. One common place is higher interest CDs, or a certificate of deposit where you can get higher interest rate compared to a simple savings account. The reason I don't recommend CDs is that most often these accounts have a time duration that you need to keep your money in order to earn that higher interest rate. If you take the money out before the CD maturity date, you have to pay a penalty. And that penalty would effectively wipe out any interest gain you have made, plus more. You never know when you'll need cash to help ride out the bumps of life, or when that new opportunity may make itself available. A second common area that I've seen people keep their cash is in a Roth IRA. And this is because contribution to a Roth IRA can be withdrawn at any time without tax and without penalty. However, most often your Roth IRA is invested in the market and you never know where the market will be when you need that money. If you happen to lose your job, it could also be likely that the market also tanks. You not only need to deal with the job loss, but take a loss in the market because you're needing to pull that cash out to cover your basic expenses. Or the flip side, what if you're taking that money out when the market is doing extremely well and you're missing out on all the gains? Keep things simple. Define a single goal for each dollar. Your investment's job is to stay in the market and grow. Your cash's job is to give you that cushion when life happens. keep them separate. All right, with that said, let's get back to another key reason why cash is king. The third reason is that cash gives us peace. Emotional health is crucial to overall physical health. The Dalai Lama, when asked what surprised him the most about humanity, answered, man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money, then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health, and then he's so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present. If we don't have our health, what is the point of having tons of money? We won't be able to enjoy it. So by having a financial cushion, whenever unexpected events happen, we can calmly respond with, oh well, that sucks, rather than, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? My aging parents have lived with me for close to 10 years. They have played a crucial role in helping to raise our children, and I am forever grateful for their presence. However, I'm also constantly bracing myself for the day that one of my parents will become severely sick or incapacitated to a point where they will need more hands-on caring. I hope that it never does, but statistics seem to be against me. I can never predict when and how, but I know that it will come one day. My cash cushion helps me to find some level of peace in that. Because if the worst comes to worst, and either my wife or I had to cut back our earnings to be more available at home, it wouldn't be easy, but I know we can weather that storm together. The fourth reason why cash is king is that cash keeps you out of debt. Debt is one of the most common financial struggles that people face, and therefore it is one of the biggest sources of stress in many people's lives. According to Bankrate, the average American consumer debt is up to $93,000. 75% of Americans carry credit card balance from month to month. Nearly a quarter of US adults have personal loans against their names. And 12% of adults in the US have a HELOC, home equity line of credit, with an average debt of $42,000. Clearly, debt is a big problem for a lot of people. And the reason is because too many of us have accepted debt as a normal way of life. Gone are the days where we would only spend the cash that we had in our wallets. With the advent of financial tools like credit cards and easily accessible loans, too many Americans are barely surviving month to month, from one debt to another. But when we have enough cash in our bank account, not only do we have enough cash to pay for things, we become a lot more conscious of our spending. We see real cash, not just credit card that we can charge our expenses on. And we become emotionally tied to that cash. I have seen it with my own behavior. When I get used to having enough cash in the bank account, I get wary about spending it down. I have an emotional connection to it, and it hurts me when I see it dwindle due to my frivolous spending. Debt is one of the most dangerous things that can happen to our financial health. It is like a slow poison that chips away at our wealth and mental well-being. But when we have cash, we can avoid it altogether. And that is why cash is king. Cash gives us options, choices, and power over our finances. The fifth key reason why cash is king is that cash gives you time. Time to think. And this for me is one of the greatest benefits of having enough cash. It gives me mental and emotional room to think. We don't like to believe it, but we make rash decisions when we're desperate. Do you know what the recommended protocol for trying to help someone that is drowning is? It's not to jump in the water to help him or her. What is recommended is we should try to reach that person with something rigid like a pole, not our arm. Or we can throw him or her a rope and encourage them to grab onto it. And the reason for this recommendation is that drowning individuals are probably one of the most dangerous persons to try to rescue. In a panic, drowning individuals are likely to claw at the rescuers and climb to the surface at all costs. And like a drowning person, when we're in a financially vulnerable and desperate position, we can't think straight. Thus, the perpetual downward spiral of bad decisions that can put us in a worse and worse financial situation. When you have enough money in the bank account to weather through a year of unemployment or market downturn, you have the time. Time to think, time to plot your next move, and time to make your best financial decision. Don't see cash sitting in your bank account as just losing value. See it as more than that. Your bodyguard, fitness trainer, and a thought partner. If you're having trouble saving this cash and would like to learn a guaranteed way to save more, please check out my video here. Thank you guys again for watching, and until next time, all the best.